welcome on this Monday morning, January 20th, 2014. I want to thank everybody for coming out and supporting us. My name is Regina Roundtree, and I am the founder of Connecticut Black Republicans and Conservatives. A little bit of history on how this organization came to be, and what we intend to do going forward. It started with a passion that I had for working in my community. I have done that for the past 15 years. It just so happened that I wrote a grant for teen pregnancy prevention in Hartford. I don't know if you remember that, in 2010. They won $4.5 million from the CDC. I was the agency that wrote that. And over the next year and a half after that grant was awarded, there were a lot of problems with the money actually coming down into the community. And I was very concerned, and so I started reaching out to the people that were in leadership within the city, and I couldn't get anybody to listen or to help or to be concerned that there were $900,000 a year coming into that city, and we couldn't see the programs, we couldn't see the work. It required that you reached 800 kids every year, but nothing was really happening. And that's when I realized that I really needed to do something. And so as I sat back and looked at the situation, I realized that it was a one-party town. Now, I've always been a Democrat ever since I first registered to, Democrat, oh my. Okay, don't shoot me for that one. I have always been a Republican since the first time I registered to vote back in the late 1990s. And what I realized is that it was a one-party town. There wasn't a balance of power within the inner city. And as I looked around at other inner cities across our state that were suffering through economic decline, I realized that it was a one-party system. And how could we bring accountability to those communities if there wasn't a balance of power? And that's when I started thinking about how do we reach out to our urban communities? At that time, good timing, the Growth and Opportunity Report came out from the Republican National Committee, and I realized that here is an idea. Here's some platforms and strategies that could be synthesized at the local level to really reach out to the urban communities. And so that's what I started to do. And I will say that it's very hard to find Republicans of color in Connecticut. It's like an underground railroad. I would go and talk to someone, and they would be, oh, I know a Black Republican in that town over there. Why don't you call that person? And so I would call that person, or I would go over there and I would meet another Republican of color. And so standing behind me, you see a few of them that could make it today. There are many more, so I don't want you to think that this is it. There are quite a few of us in the state. And I think by forming this organization and putting it together, what I've been able to do is get the party excited about the opportunity to reach out to the urban community. And so the strategies for us are really about grassroots and about policy and about the people. Those are the most important things to us. And so as we move along across the state and as we build relationships within the urban communities, with our legislature, we're having the conversation about, we have some great messages, we have great strategies, we have great policy, but how is that being synthesized to the urban community? Are they really understanding? And to the legislature, when we say, okay, it's taxes or it's property tax, think about the urban communities and that many of them are renters. And so how do you bring your message of understanding fiscal conservatism? How do you bring the message of limited government in a way that those in the urban community can understand it? And what do we do to encourage residents who do embrace our policies and who do understand them and feel that there's no support? And so by forming this organization, what we've been able to do is come up with a way to do outreach at the grassroots level, to look for and recruit people, residents in the urban communities to be part of the party, to work together with their community to bring a balance and accountability. And I am so grateful for all the support that I have received from everyone that I have talked to. And I want to bring to the podium now Senator McKinney, Speaker of our Senate.
Thank you, Regina. Folks, you've just seen a dynamic, exciting leader, a Republican leader, a conservative leader, and Regina and the people who are standing here today are proof positive that the Republican Party is alive and well all across the state of Connecticut. They are proof positive that the ideas of small or limited government, fiscal responsibility, freedom and personal responsibility are ideas that can sell anywhere in the state of Connecticut, regardless of who you are and where you live. You know, it's remarkable that we're here on Martin Luther King Day. Our founding fathers sacrificed all for the ideas of freedom and liberty and equality, the same ideas that Dr. King stood up and fought for. That vision is not complete, but it is alive and well, and we are the stewards of that vision. And with leaders like Regina working together, we will see that vision and that dream accomplished in the state of Connecticut. Regina, it's great to have you all here. We are a big party, we're a good party, and we're going to show the people of the state of Connecticut that limited government, fiscal responsibility can lift up and people who need help, who need work, can have better lives because of those ideas. Thank you, Regina.
Questions if anyone had some questions they wanted to ask. If not, we will step out of the way and allow the setup to happen for the MLK celebration.
Can you talk about the outreach that you're doing?
Yes. So the outreach in the urban areas will be ongoing. It's every day, every year. And I know that this happens to be an election year and a big one, but we will be here in 2014, 15, and 16. It's going to take a long time to build trust. It's going to take a long time to make inroads into the urban communities and talk to them about the opportunities within the party and the platform. And so some of the strategies that we have set forth will be that we will target certain urban communities across the state. Right now, we are looking at around 10 of them: Hartford, Bloomfield, Windsor, Norwich, New London, Meriden, New Britain, New Haven, Waterbury, and Bridgeport are the target cities, at least for this year, where we're looking to, and we have identified team captains in those cities. We will be attending Board of Ed meetings, town hall meetings, community functions, talking about the platform, engaging with the community, and finding out what are the issues and the needs that they have that as a party we can support and that we can help them address. We will be also doing this after November 5th, so not just up until then, after November 5th in 2015, 16, and beyond. It's going to take quite a long time. We look for opportunities to partner with our Democratic leadership in those towns. We need a balanced two-party system. It's not about one party. It's about giving people in those communities an option and a choice.
How many members do you have, and is there any place that has become a base where you have perhaps a little bit more political clout than any place else?
Unfortunately, and all of us know that it's hard to get clout in the inner cities for the Republicans. And it's something that we're working on. We don't have a particular city that's a base for us. I think those are the things that will start to show themselves, let's say, by the summertime. This really is a brand new initiative. There's just been a lot of conversation. There isn't a membership per se. Anyone who is a Republican is welcome to the meetings. We haven't started having them yet to talk about policy, but those are some of the things that I'll be working closely. Senator McKinney has been gracious enough to really make his office available to us to have those kind of conversations. So as we start to have our platform and our strategies, those will roll out. You can find those, will be posted on our Facebook and also on our website.
Well, do you have any sense that your message may be more better received in some places than others? For example, Bloomfield, great deal of economic diversity within the Black community as opposed to some of the inner cities. Is this a place you think that you may have a better shot at selling the public a message within the Black community?
And again, I'm going to go back and say I don't think so, because there are many aspects of the party message that apply liberally to everybody. And so, yes, in Bloomfield we have a lot of home ownership, so property taxes, those type of things are going to be very important to them. However, in Hartford, there's a real struggle with education, and the party has always been very supportive of school choice, of vouchers, of a better way to allow our children to have access to the education that they need. So it's not that one area of the state has a better propensity to be open to this message. I think everyone will. It's about how we can make the inroads. And some communities are going to be harder than others.
Are you doing any outreach to churches and other long-standing community organizations where political people like to go to reach out to the community?
The first part of your question again?
Are you reaching out to any community institutions? Are you trying to work your message through them, whether it be churches, which obviously in some communities are a very important part of Black community?
Yes. And so the part of the outreach that will happen definitely to the faith community. We talk about the platform, we talk about conservatism, but also understanding that the faith community has been the bedrock of many urban communities as far as where people go when they need help. And so one of the first outreaches and the first ideas we need to have with the faith community is to understand that in order to have accountability among your elected officials, we really need to have balance. And so that means just having some basic civic education and talking about how do you get involved in the policies that are happening within your town. And so yes, we will definitely be going to the faith base, and they'll probably be one of the stronger bases for us that we find across the state.
Are you using any particular issues to try to say, look, this is an area in which the Republican Party may have a better message for you as a voter as opposed to the Democratic Party, even though you've been friendly with the Democratic Party for generations?
I think that with the policies, we can put some out there, but what I hesitate in doing is coming with a message that we know what you need. And I'd like to take that opportunity to go into the communities and have them speak with us. So we will be having town hall meetings, community conversations, but the first two will definitely be education, and then definitely talking about jobs and job training. With education, we all have heard ad nauseum about charter schools, about opportunities. However, what we do miss is a catchment of the population from about 16 to 25 who drop out of school and then don't have the work skills, don't go back to get their GED, and those are the ones that we see really struggling. And so there are a lot of avenues around education that are really important to the urban community, and I think marrying that with job training and opportunities for businesses to expand will be a positive message in the urban communities.
How has this message been received by the established Republican Party legislators?
Very well. My phone rings a lot now. My emails are full. Because we understand as a party that we've ignored the urban communities, and many times it's about not knowing what to do as opposed to the idea that they don't care about the poor or that they don't care about minorities. They're not sure how to reach out, and I think for so long we have left them alone that there's just kind of this intimidation, this wall, like, oh, forget it, I can't do anything. And so I'm here, and our group is here to say, you know, we're gonna reach out and we're gonna help you bridge this conversation.
Is one of the ways you're reaching out into the community is to do some myth busting that the Republicans hate old people and eat children? And in fact, it was the Republican Party that really was the impetus for the civil rights movement and the rights of women. Everyone seems to think it's the Democrats who have protected us, and that is a myth.
So, okay, so we're not going to start a war up here in this press conference right now. So, briefly, how I will answer that is, I call that nicely voter education, right? So let's talk about the party and the platform. and comparing the platforms. I mean, people ask me, how did you become a Republican? Why did you choose that party? And it was a lot of naivety. I went to the websites, I looked at both party platforms. I wasn't really cared about the people so much, right? Because people will win and lose office. I wanted to know what your platform was. And the platform for the party spoke to me. And I think what has happened is we've not been able to just come with a simple message of look at the platform, look at what it is. People come and go, but the platform remains the same. So I want to wrap this up because I do not want to take over the space for MLK celebration. I thank everyone so much for coming out. Again, you can go to our website or our Facebook page. Our website is www.ctbrac.org. Again, thank you everyone and have a wonderful day.